Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of a Pretty Little Podcast. I'm Allie Violet Vixen Commissaro, and I'm here with my beautiful podcaster in crime, Jessie.
Hello, welcome back, guys.
So tonight we're thrilled to have music artist Brenden Starr join us. Known for his unique sound and captivating performances, Brenden is making waves on the music scene. Tonight, we dive into his creative process, recent projects, upcoming shows, and what's next in his musical journey. Let's welcome Brenden Starr.
Hi.
What's up?
What's up, ladies? How you doing?
Well,
I'm digging the bobcat. It looks like a bobcat or a mountain lion or something back here.
Bobcat. Her name is SpongeBob. She's very cute. I collect taxidermy, so I have a lot of fun pieces.
Nice. Very cool.
Thank you.
So we have so much to talk about because you have a lot going on.
Yeah.
But I want to start a little bit from the beginning and how you got into music and creating your own music and your story.
I'm a third generation singer and drummer in my family. I grew up around mainly country music. A lot of my youth and my teen. It never sat with me because it was always kind of shoved down my throat a lot in my family. Like my grandpa always wanted me to like have a country band or sing country music. Both my grandfather and my grandmother they did some stuff in Nashville, I believe. I know my grandmother has a record she cut in the 60s with the label down there somewhere.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
That's
And my uncle also went and performed at the Grand Ole Opry in the 90s, and he's still playing around the PA and Florida circuit and a bunch of different country bands and stuff like that. So where I kind of like fell off the beaten path was, I believe, my first piece of music I ever came across was a cassette tape I found in my uncle's in like a drawer somewhere, and it was like Beastie Boys. And it was like had like Party All Night Long or No Sleep Till Brooklyn. It was that record, and I kind of like got me in a little bit of hip hop and rock. And then I remember my dad got me my first Walkman, if anybody knows what they are nowadays.
Was it the yellow one?
Yeah, he got me my first Walkman, and it was AC/DC's "Who Made Who" cassette, and that kind of like started getting me into like drums and rock and roll and then along the way, just hearing bands like Metallica and I have a great memory of all this stuff. My first CD that I ever owned was White Zombie, their first record. I don't know what that's called. And that just kind of got me more into drums. I have a very huge catalog of music influences, but when it comes to like my idols and things that I push into my writing or little niches in my voice, like Steve Perry of Journey is one of my idols. I get a lot of influences from him. Chester of Linkin Park is a big one. And then this one's
how do you feel about Emily?
I like it. I'm like 50-50 because I also see a lot of mixed reviews about it being like a cash grab type thing. And I don't know how that sits well with me because I think what they're doing is good, and I see that they're packing arenas and stuff like that. I've only ever seen Linkin Park once, and it was at the end of Hybrid Theory, and it was like Ozfest, 2001 or 2, and it was great. And I was supposed to go see him the week before Chester had passed at Hershey. They were doing that show. I think it was with Blink-182 or Fall Out Boy.
Yeah,
that was going to be an awesome tour. So I like it, but then like. At times, sometimes I feel like she does it good, but maybe she's still trying to find her own with it. Because some of the runs and stuff, I feel like they're almost come across like kind of karaoke-ish. And I see a lot of people saying
those are like huge, like shoes to fill. I mean, like,
yeah.
I mean, she's coming into it. They have such a loyal fan base, and nobody's gonna replace Chester.
Right.
You can't replace the previous singer. I think you really got to make it your own and make it something that people love. Like with like Black Sabbath, you got Dio, and that's like a totally different vibe, you know? And like
Mhm.
but it's somebody who made it their own, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that she's got to kind of fall into that, because if you try to be the person before you know,
I
that's
mean, if
And
they
I
would have
love
changed,
how everybody's making it their own. Like, I've heard so many people cover that song. I mean, all different genres, and like some are really great, some are not so great. But I mean, like, it's cool to hear all the different sounds
yeah.
that are inspired by that song. So that's kind of cool.
yeah, like I've seen some stuff that came across. Like they would have changed the name. It would have just been the same band, and they still would have done Linkin Park songs in their set.
Yeah.
That would have been cool too.
Yeah, I
I
get
mean,
it.
I don't disagree with that at all. But I mean, like the brand's there, and there's so much money in merchandising and all their stuff that keeping that stuff around helps.
To change the name at this point when everybody's like but is this like a double end because everybody is really attached to the name Linkin Park, but like then it's also they're attached to,
I love the way that Kevin Miller said it. Like,
yeah,
he's worked really hard for his name and like what he's done. And like, as outsiders, can we really expect them to just
get rid
change
of
everything because there's change? I mean,
Yeah.
it's not really fair for anybody to be like, listen, you can't keep that name because all your members aren't there.
I kind of figured what was it, like a year or two ago, they were hinting on like a new vocalist, and they were like messing around with some female vocalists doing some tracks and stuff. So it didn't surprise me that they went with the female voice. And I don't disagree that they have a female, because Chester had a good tenor range, and she can hit a lot of his stuff. So
I like there's like some bands that like I'm a big death metal fan, and so there's the band Death, and the singer Chuck's no longer around, but now they just call themselves like Death to All, but with the
Mm.
original like Death logo. And I'm always like, I feel like that's
See, that's
tasteful.
a good idea. Like, I think that I can
Mm-hmm.
get behind that.
if it's stuff like that, and it's like branded properly, where it still branches off and it's marketed in a way like it's a continuation, and it's put out there to the fans properly, where there's no confusion. I feel like Journey's also done it well with having the Asian or Filipino guy for years, but he still gets a lot of flack as well. I mean, that guy gets a lot of hate.
I know Adam Lambert be hitting those notes for Queen though. I was like
For
very
Queen, yeah, he did his little run with Queen. I think he is the permanent singer for Queen.
yeah.
Yeah, he really like, I kind of feel like he went under the radar with a lot of it. Like, I didn't even know that. Like, I knew that he could do certain things, but like I didn't realize like how broad his like musical
Vocal.
talent was. I mean, like,
Freddie
Yeah,
Mercury was a hard shoe to fit into because that man had extra mouth space so that he could hit more octaves, like scientifically and all this stuff. Like it's crazy, you know.
so Brenden, what was the last add to your playlist?
last add to my playlist like recently.
Yep.
Let me look here, because I'll just in the past like 24 hours. While I'm looking for this, the other idol I was going to tell you, and he's a big one when it comes to my pop stuff and vocal technique, is Darren Hayes of Savage Garden.
Oh yeah.
I got to see him, and he's very hard to see anyway. So he performed in Times Square last March, and it was phenomenal for being. I think he's 52 now. He's hitting all the notes and all the songs from the first Savage Garden 2 records.
I really love seeing I feel like seeing some of my bucket list artists. Like a lot of artists are starting to come back and play shows and stuff like that that haven't played in a really long time. Like one of my all-time favorite bands is Acid Bath. They haven't played since 1997, and they're playing that 60 World Fest, and they haven't
Oh,
played
wow.
since 1997.
I've heard that name forever, and I know my death metal. I don't think I have any in my catalog. I believe
They're
high school I had a friend have a record of theirs, and you can correct me. I think there's a cover of a clown. I think
yeah, so John Wayne
Yep.
Gacy.
yeah, he brought it to work, and he's like, "Yo, you got to listen to these guys." And I'm like, "I never heard of them." I don't think we ever listened to them either way. I remember the cover was kind of cool, and then it was
Your friend should really look into how much that costs, because they didn't repress anything.
oh
They
man,
Their music wasn't on Spotify until like 2 years ago. You had to go out and like really look for it. It was like and the singer said he was never gonna perform their stuff again. They really made it like they turned into like a cult band because they were so hard to find. So your friend should be like, "Hey, do you still have that?" Because I hope it's when the Kite String pops. And part of the reason that band's really famous is because they really solidified the sound of sludge, and which is like a genre I love because it is an American-made swamp baby. Like it's that Louisiana metal you can only get from like the bayou. That like I love it. Like I love American-made genres. Like I love um I love country too, and I love a lot of current country artists, but I feel like we have in this country, we have a lot of weird little pockets that create some really interesting sounds.
I
So
kind
that's
of grew up in a
Mhm.
way, kind of like Brenden. Like my parents like forced country, like down my throat. Like took me to Grand Ole Opry. I got to experience a lot of like really big country stars. But I mean, I was into No Doubt, and I was into like like the the younger bands. And like I did not understand country. Like honestly, it wasn't until like later on that I'm like, okay, there are some country songs, and now that everybody's blending, I mean, I know there's like mixed feelings on like Post Malone's new uh album, but I
the
love
country
it.
stuff. I kind of get what he's doing. It's kind of like where Machine Gun Kelly's going to.
Mhm.
I had like a producer in like France like review my song Get Out, and I had to go and translate it because it was all in French, but he was making a comment in there about referring me to like Machine Gun Kelly, and it was a cool review, but I didn't like the fact that he was throwing him in the mix because we're not really the same. I get it, I'm a solo artist, but I also come from a hard rock metal background.
Yeah.
Bands that I played drums and stuff in that I
I
actually
would take that as kind of a compliment though, because
I
honestly,
did, but I didn't want him to
Kelly,
make
like
it.
he's like he literally basically can blend in, well, not blend in, but like blend in musically with
Oh, I
any
thought you
kind
were
of
gonna
music.
say because Post Malone used to be like a sweaty death metal kid prior to him being Post Malone. He was in like a death metal band or something. Like originally, he was like a long-haired, like probably somebody I would have dated in high school. And then he released like I like a sweaty 4XL t-shirt nerd. So he's like a old death metal kid, and then he started making like rapping on SoundCloud and then blew up like that. So I was like, that's why I always liked him. And he plays Magic the Gathering, and I play that shit too. So
Yeah,
I
I
can
have a
get
bunch of
through
his
like
stuff.
the whole like I can put Post Malone on and like listen to a whole album all the way through.
yeah, I would say that the only time I've ever like almost died at a show, was a Post Malone show because they were giving out free Bud Light and people were going a little crazy. That was
I can see
like, I was like, oh, no.
that.
Out of all the shows you've been to, like that was your wildest show.
They shouldn't be giving out free Bud Light at Festival Pier, which is a venue that's closed because it was sinking down in the water. And it was insane.
Was that at Philly?
It was in Philly.
Is that
It was,
Pier 1 or Penn's Landing?
yeah, it was the one with the sand. A venue shouldn't have sand getting in your shoes and shit.
I didn't know that. I thought they closed. I thought they tore that down because they sold it, and now it's going to be like condos and stuff are being built there.
I think it was a little bit of both. Somebody told me that it was literally sinking into the water, and from all the people there, and it not being like maintained correctly. And then
that would make sense. It's a lot of weight. Yeah.
And then they sold it, and now they're instead of fixing it, they sold it to somebody who actually would fix it, and they're building condos. Also, the people who lived in those condos already, the ones around it, were going wild, calling about the noise. And I don't blame them, because people at the Post Malone show, they were wilding. It was Bud Light wilding out.
Wow.
I was like, oh shit, I am not.
Yeah, I saw one show. I've only ever been to one show there, and it was Thrice, Rise Against, and then the headliner was Deftones, because I never got to see Deftones.
I love Rise Against.
That one was
They're
really
on my
good.
bucket list.
So at what point did you start getting more into, was it that first tape you got for your Walkman that started the descent into like heavier music?
Kind of like my grandfather used to own a car dealership, and we owned a few, and my uncle would have his drums in the one room in the dealership, and I remember I wasn't allowed to touch them, but I was listening to that record, and I wanted to play like Shook Me All Night Long, or just dabble around on the beat, because it's such an easy thing to learn, but it wants you to play the drums because you hear it and it makes you want to tap on stuff or stomp your feet or something like that. It was like, man, I want to say being around a lot of my older cousins that had some heavy stuff. I remember I'd go over to my cousin's house, and he had like a huge like stereo system, and he had Vulgar Display by Pantera, which still to this day, that record start to finish is my favorite Pantera record. Stuff like that, White Zombie.
Right.
He had stuff that tripped me out that I didn't really understand either. Like he had like the first Ministry record, stuff like that. And like Metallica, like One and Justice for All. Those are kind of things that got me more into playing drums. And I remember my dad had got me my first drum set. It was like in 6th grade or something like that. And somewhere in middle school, I started like my first band, and then so on, a bunch of just metal bands and new metal bands in high school. But I've always self-taught singing, and always was the songwriter in any of my projects. I just was always good at writing a good song or telling stories.
Wait. How would you describe your overall sound and style? Because honestly, going through even picking the like songs for story and like my stories and everything, like you really have songs that hit like a lot of different genres.
Where it's going now, it's always going to be like my pop influences, but it's definitely an alternative or a new alternative. Like I don't like to say metal because it's not metal. It has a grit and edginess to it where I want it to be marketable for top 40 radio, but also top 40 rock radio. Kind of like, Linkin Park can get away with that. I mean, you hear that new song, what was it on Sirius's like top 40, like I like to call it the bubblegum pop station. They're spinning that new record on there, and she's, hitting them notes and yelling. I'm like, wow. And then it goes into like what Sabrina Carpenter or Sia right after. That's where it becomes confusing to me, but I also like that marketability, that if you can make a song that's considered a rock song, but it's marketable enough to top 40 where they're playing you next to Post Malone and like Sia or Lady Gaga or something like that,
So what song would you say defines you as an artist right now?
Oh man, I want to say Get Out, because
that's my favorite.
It just lets you hear so much more that I have to offer when you go into when you go into the full length that came out 2 years ago, there's a little bit more pop on there. That was just me coming out more of my pop phase, because a lot of my stuff was always coming out like that. And I felt like I was holding myself back. Like, yeah, I can make good pop songs, but for me, just they weren't fun to perform live. And over the years, I got tired of going to shows and stuff with just me and like a laptop and doing me and backtracks. It's just I'm so much more energetic. My stage presence is more theatrical, and I can't stand doing those things. So then when we started doing this reimagined EP, where I did like the acoustic version of my previous single Gravity and Top of the World, we did like an EDM, like an industrial mix on that. And I remember talking to Hayden Calhoun, which he's in the band If Not For Me. If any of you know who they are, they're also a big up and coming band, Central PA, which they're on tour right now. Set It Off and From Ashes to New. But he's the one that's always wrote all those guitar parts. I just produce everything and come up with the drum parts and write. So I mean, without him, a lot of the songs you want to hear today, you know, kind of bring the magic out in the studio, and we're always on the same page. So, but yeah, definitely Get Out. There's another song that I really love to perform. It's the second one, My Intentions. It's very different. You hear a little bit of different vocal technique out of it. It's a little bit more singing nasally, more like head voice in that one. And it's fun. It has a really cool, energetic, like pop punk breakdown in it. So with all this new stuff, I'm trying to influence like my Warped Tour days, you know, playing like pop punk or emo. It's you know, it is kind of like a blender. And I had a label person tell me this recently, like you could go either way. And that to me, that was a compliment, because I don't want to like keep myself contained to like a certain genre. I have so much more to offer, and it's not that I'm trying to do it on purpose. I'm a pop singer making rock music, so I got to try to cater to both and make it work.
So I know that you're allowed to speak about all of the shows that you have coming up. Like, tell us all about it, because there's some biggies.
Yeah. Obviously, you know, we're going to do this Millionaires show. That's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. And what's funny
November 8th at Artie's.
Yes, November 8th. What's funny about this with the show with these girls, back in like 2018 or 2016, they were supposed to do a show. I remember the promoter, I can't remember his name. It fell through, but I think it was at like Dingbacks or something like that in Jersey. So there was a show I was supposed to do with him a long time ago. It never happened. And I was also supposed to do a podcast. I can't remember the girl's name, the one you had on the show. The one with the bow, the lead singer.
Melissa.
Yeah. I was supposed to be on a podcast, Blood, Sweat, and Bruise in the UK. And that's when her father had passed away and all that stuff, and she couldn't make it. So now here we are. We're going to finally play a show together. I'll get to meet him and have a good time. Yeah.
Let me just say, I am so ready. I am so hyped. Like, I am ready to go.
And then I think I said today when I made a post about your show, the other two shows I haven't announced yet because I don't have the publicities for them, but January 18th, I will be, I can't remember the name because it's new to me, but in Pottstown.
Rivet.
Yeah, Drake Bell. And that'll be a special show because it's going to be an acoustic show where I'll do covers and a few of my originals with me and the guitar player.
That's
and awesome. Yeah.
And they're so like, I mean, the Millionaires versus Drake Bell, like that's such a wide variety of crowd. Like, that should be like really fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. A wide variety of people. How do you pick what songs to do for covers? Because my band has to pick a cover song, and we are all arguing over what to pick. We're having like the hardest time being like, what song are we going to cover?
hold that question because I feel like I have two answers that I owe you to from previous questions. To answer the other one about the shows, January 30th, I'll be with LFO at Artie's. So that'll be fun, nostalgic with the boy band. To go back on your question there, last night I downloaded a song called Memories by the band called Dreamwake.
Okay.
Just check
I'm
them
writing
out.
all these down.
They will be playing my festival. I'm going to announce that here because they'll be announced later this week on the page. They're playing my Rock on a Hill Music Festival next June.
Oh, that's fun. Where's that at?
In Hanover, my hometown.
Awesome.
I'll send you some stuff in Messenger.
Yes.
What caught my attention is they got like this whole like 80s colorful themes and like video game stuff in their videos. And I don't know if there's a sax player in all their stuff, but it's metalcore, like new metalcore. And then there's a saxophone that this dude just comes in and starts shredding in the breakdowns and stuff. And it's very easy listening. Like it's very refreshing because there's so many new metal bands out there, and there's so many genty type bands, and you get them all mixed up, and there's tons of them. But then is that, when you got somebody with a saxophone player, ain't too many of those guys around just come in and start shredding on the saxophone.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So okay. So I owed you those two answers.
And back to the whole. So is this your first time playing at Artie's?
This will be my second because the other one I opened up with Emarosa last month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a great show. It was packed there for that.
It's awesome.
It was very short-lived because it was 25 minutes and then it was done. Because it was a full bill.
Really cool. Like that, I heard that's a really cool venue.
Oh, you never been there before?
No.
The food's great. Not. Well, in the summertime they have an outside stage. If it's a really big enough band or artist, they'll move them outside to the bigger stage. But it's cool. I think you'll like it.
Now, what are some of your favorite venues?
I like Love Drafts, because it's close to home in Mechanicsburg.
I'll be out there. Next week or the week after?
Yeah, something like that.
November 3rd.
November 15th. I'm getting my dates mixed up here. It's a Sunday. It's a benefit show for Chris Ryder, the popular photographer in Central PA music scene. There's a big benefit show for him and his family because he had lost his home and his two dogs and stuff. And
was that in the fire?
Yeah.
My heart goes out to him and his family. I was reading that whole story online, and wow, that's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, he lost his two dogs, but he's a big part of like the Central PA Hall of Fame show and all that, and he's literally at like any big events doing all the photography. I know he's helped me out. He's done a lot of my promotional photos and for my videos and my festival for the past 3 years as well. So
that's really great that they could come together and get a benefit together for him.
Yeah, just come to that. It's Sunday. I believe it's the 15th. If I'm wrong, it might be the 17th. I got so many dates popping up in my head now, and these January ones.
Well, you have a lot of exciting stuff going on.
Yeah. And then your question about the cover band stuff. I find the songs with the vocalist that like is very strong to my voice.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if there's some easy ones you can throw in, like if you're doing a cover set, pick out the easy ones that you're just like, we can kind of wing these real quick, and you don't have to feel like you have to put a lot into the vocals. But
yeah,
like when I do an acoustic song, one of my favorites is it's not to the T of the song, but it's a different rendition of "Numb" by Linkin Park.
Oh, okay, cool.
And when I do that, I put that in a certain spot of the set list because it's a harder song, and I'll wail the notes and stuff. So like that, or I've done Sorry by Justin Bieber, but I kind of like make it my own.
Yeah.
But like if you're gonna pick some harder songs and you can hit the notes, you can kind of space them out throughout the set list where if you go back into your originals. So I mean, like everybody's different. I mean, if you're doing like a 3 hour like cover set and there's some hard ones in there, definitely pick some spots in the set that you're gonna get a break and then come back into and be ready to do the harder stuff.
Do you have another guy that could do like simple vocals?
For me,
if you know anything, do you know what a fat guy power violence vocal is? I don't know if you know what that is, Allie.
No.
The
guy, like something from the gut.
Yeah, so like, ah! Like we have one of those we call them fat guy power violence vocals. That's about what we have. I think.
Okay, I was just gonna say because like I think it would be magical. Like, have you ever seen Empire Records?
I did a movie. I never saw it.
Allie, we make grindcore.
Yeah, but to take that song Sugar High and like if you made it like really hardcore, like I think that would be so fun.
The one I want to do, but everybody's like, it would be the entirety of the set, is I really want to do a whacked out version of Knocking on Heaven's Door because I love that song. Or just to have like an aggressively heavy set and then halfway through just be like knock knocking on heaven's door, be like, mama, take these guns from me, like halfway through that, and then just go back but like I don't know. The other thing is that my guitarist was tapping out Crazy Frog the other day, like the bing bing. I wanted to do that like halfway through too, and everybody's like, that's too stupid. But I don't know.
I don't think I would have called it.
Yeah, we're having real real stupid arguments because some people want to do actual songs, and then some people are like me are just like, okay, we need a whacked out version of Mississippi Queen, or something like that. So
blast beats to knocking on
knock. Yeah, I was gonna say when you said earlier about something that makes you makes you want to drum. I have never picked up a drum set, but when I hear a D beat, I'm like, let me add it. Like when I hear like a punk D beat, I'm like, let me try. Like I want to tap on something. A blast beat, I could never I feel like
I never practiced them enough, and for me, it's like you gotta love grindcore and death metal. I mean, it's in some metal, but
yeah,
you gotta love to do it. Like I'm not a fan of it. I'm a power player, and I like to play real hard and heavy and in the pocket, and I like to do some double bass stuff, but I don't like to do it in every song.
There's a weird art to it. Like our drummer is incredible. Shout out Naveem from Desolate and IBS. He's been on our show. Allie was like, I booked this band. I'm like, oh, that's my drummer. So other band. That's really funny. But it's like there's such an art to it that I'm like, that's a neck I'm like, I can't handle what my man's putting down. Like he plays loud and he plays fast, and I just have so much respect for the drums because the coordination you need to do that, and also the look he gets when he's playing it. He's like feeling it. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I'm like, oh, so cool. I'm amazed, but really, really cool stuff. I love the drums. That shit.
Yeah, they're really fun to watch.
Yeah,
I love when people get real into it. Like, my mom, like, she keeps. I don't know why. I think she started following Travis Barker, and like, she keeps like showing me like videos of him, and she's like, I don't understand this, and I'm like, but that's all. Like to me, I could watch him like go to town for a while.
I was following like a bunch of Japanese grindcore drummers because I'm like they could move they move at a rate that I'm like, oh my god, I'd die for moving that fast is crazy. And like I've seen so many amazing drummers, but I'm always so impressed. Always so impressed with guitar players too. Like when people technical riffs blow me away. Like we had Horrendous on, and I love that band. I love a proggy technical riff. Oh, every time I see MJ, I'm like, oh, it's you. You're too good at your instrument. I can't handle it.
Brenden, what would you say is your most memorable moment? And I'll give you two, like as a music artist and as a drummer.
As a drummer, it was probably my last show with the last band I played with a few years ago. It was in Baltimore. It was one of my most fun shows, and I was just so on it that night, and I was doing extra stuff. I was jumping out of my seat. I was breaking sticks because of just purposely playing too heavy. I think I remember breaking like 3 sticks and just went down to my side pocket and grabbed another one, or I grabbed one from my right.
The crowd loves it though. Like the crowd loves it.
It was opened up for Crazy Town, and it was just such a good show. There was plenty of other ones, but that one I think kind of tops it. It was the last show that I was behind a kit with the band before I started putting my focus back onto my solo stuff. As far as my soloist stuff, I played at the York Fair last summer, and it was like 7,000 people there, and it was on the grandstand opening. It was a battle of the bands, and I got second, which was great. But it was playing the farewell dates with Kicks, the 80s hair band Kicks. It was the last few days before they were retiring, and that was pretty iconic. And I got some cool pictures and a live video of the One Single Top of the World that was shot there on my YouTube page. So that one's definitely been pretty iconic. I mean, opening up for Amoroso last month was cool too, but I don't think that one tops that one, or opening for Johnny Craig doesn't top that one yet either. And Johnny Craig's show was...
How was that show?
Yeah,
I had something that night, so I couldn't make it, but
it was almost sold out. It was great. I mean, I'd gotten so much good feedback from Tom and about that show, and that's kind of like what made my relationship with him even more better. I mean, I knew who Tom was for years. I just hadn't done any shows with him in a long time, and me and him just been clicking so well, and he's been finding the right shows. And when he hits me up, and I'm like, okay, I understand. Like when he offered me the LFO show, I was like, I don't know, Tom. I mean, I get it. I'm a pop singer. But he's like, no, hear me out. Just do this show, and this will make sense. I'm telling you, you'll make some new fans. Yeah, okay, I'll do it. So, but yeah, I mean, the Kick show was huge.
That's awesome.
That's so fun. And with the ones you have coming up, like I wanted to make sure that I got that question in, because I want to ask you again after you've played the 3 you have coming, or well, 4 you have coming up, and see what the answer is after that.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty busy these holidays coming up with shows. I got a lot on my plate right now too, since I signed with an entertainment company. I'm focusing on doing my first tour. I've done tours, but they were like supporting tours. Like I know you have Scotty Austin coming up. I'm good friends with him. I've done some dates with him already, and he's played my festival as well.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, he's played my festival 2 times now. He played last year and the year before. And then I did some dates with him in like Long Island and Pittsburgh. But this one here is going to be, supporting my next single, which was my remake of the song The Freshman by the band called the Verb Pipe, which everybody should know. Obviously, it's one of them one-hit wonder bangers that came out in like the late 90s. And it's very iconic. It's on EP, so I mean, you can go listen to it. I don't play it a lot now because I'm not trying to blow everything out so early. I want to map it all out and make sure it's all marketed properly, since I already had the video done for it. And we'll do the tour, and we'll call it the freshman tour. And
can you tell us anything that fans can anticipate from the video, or
it's very
it's
very relaxing. I tried to keep the mood there. It's similar to the original video. It was a fun video to shoot. I remember I spent a lot of money on Edison bulbs. I love Edison bulbs, but there was all kinds of different Edison bulbs, like crazy ones. Like I'm talking like this one light bulb was like $80, and I was so scared to like touch it because I wanted to put it back in the box. And I remember wiping them all down, fingerprints off them, and send them all back through Amazon.
And
what am I gonna do with them? I had like 12 of these crazy bulbs. This one was like this big, and it was like a corkscrew of like spirals and stuff. It was cool as shit. And it's one of the centerpieces in the video. But in the video, it's a black room, but they're all hanging, and a lot of the shots, the bulbs are moving and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
It's got these moves, and I think some of the shots, there's a couch in the middle where I'm sitting on it, and I know we did some of the photos and I think some of the verses there, but it was a simple video, but it's kind of cool with lighting, little lighting tricks and some artsy stuff. But I didn't want to steal any of the vibe away from the song. I mean, mine's more rocking and there's a little bit more energy to it than the original. I never changed anything about like the singing harmonies or the lyrics. I wanted to keep a lot of that originality there to the song, to still pay homage to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I haven't heard a lot of people really cover that. Like, I haven't heard that song really covered.
Nope. And when I dig into my archives or my library, I tried to find the most unique, and I look for stuff like that to make sure there's not 2 or 3 versions of it already. Like, I don't think there was ever a version like mine of Gavin DeGraw's "Not Over You." What's the other one? Richard Marx, the "Should Have Known Better" remake that I did. There was nobody that had touched that song. Everybody asked me, like, that's a weird one to do. Like, I remember that song now, because when I hear Richard Marx, they think about his ballad "Right Here Waiting for You," but then "Should Have Known Better" was such a banger, and a typical like late 80s like pop rock song. It's got the video where he's like doing his little 80s flicker fingers dance, and the jeans are pulled up real tight over his belly button, and then there's this hot girl that's like just like walking around looking out the window like, why is she there?
I love that.
Yeah.
I did karaoke last night at a Halloween party. During the I did "Mother" by Danzig, and during the intermission, which is that's a kicker. That's a great song. And I'm like, and then at this part of the music interlude, they had a really hot woman dancing, and then MTV said it was too scandalous and took it off in the 80s, and everybody was like, weird. We don't need the music history, just sing the song.
Everybody forgets about how cool MTV was.
So don't ever stop.
Yeah.
I wish MTV.
So as far as your originals, what is kind of like your songwriting process?
I have a lot of songs and books right now, but a lot is about events from my childhood. I've had a really rough childhood upbringing, so I try to dabble into that a little bit, but I don't want to necessarily make a whole record about that stuff. I might like throw 1 or 2 songs and then go back to the happier stuff, or go back to previous relationships, or girl problems and stuff like that. As far as writing, sometimes I try to like isolate myself with the headphones and pen and pad in front of me. I feel like that's the easiest way, but I become very distracted myself, and a lot of times I find myself writing in the studio when the music's there for me to hear. But when I used to be really good at it, which I still am, but I'm kind of been slacking. When where I could put a song on in my headphones and I can write to that song, to the melody or guitar beat. It could be anybody's song, but I could put my lyrics to it, and you would never know that I just wrote one of my songs to like
That's a rap artist.
corn or something, but it totally different. You know what I mean? Like I got an influence from a Corn song, but it then became a pop rock song.
That's wild. That's really cool.
Yeah.
What song was that?
I couldn't tell you. I feel like, oh my gosh, I could tell you the song Dreams on the EP. I was listening to a lot of Stained when I wrote that song. So I don't know, maybe you can try to pull your inner Aaron Lewis out of you and my vocals or something. Yeah.
Man, you're giving me a whole list to look up.
Yeah, that song, you know, that song has been recorded 4 times. It's one of my very first songs I ever wrote in high school. I wrote it in detention. I do remember that. It wasn't, over the years, it just wasn't done enough. It got a pop version of it. It got another recorded indie version of it, and they weren't good. I'm like, dude, this song is so good. And everybody tells me. And I went back to my very first demo that I did of it. And the version that's out now is a demo I recorded back in like 2010 in the studio. And that's the version I'm the most happiest with. And that's the one that's on the EP now. It's more rock. It's more like top 40 radio rock. But if you heard the other 2 versions, I guarantee you'd probably pick the one now over them. But you're going to get like the rock, you're going to get the indie version, and then you're going to get this pop version, which is on the full length.
Now,
I can't let it go. I had to do it one time. It means so much to me.
I get it. You're attached to the baby, dude. I'm attached to my baby. Like, I get it.
And
now, has it changed a lot for you that since you've been with the management company?
We're still like really fresh into our relationship. It's one of those deals where they're going to help out with publicity and stuff. It's not a full-on management with me. It can be. That's just on my terms. Right now, it's about the publicity and marketing and working shows. That way we can work me up to starting to get some good paying gigs, because managers cost money and they need.
Now, are you looking to play more shows? Are you looking to play festivals or?
Festivals would be great. Festivals are hard to get on. I mean, there's some festivals around the East Coast here. I mean, I'd love to get on more festivals. So I know how they are. Seeing how I put on my own, and it takes a lot of work, but you know, I get like anywhere from 18 to 20 bands, and it goes from like 11 to 11 at night. And it could be anything from metal to pop or punk, which is why you should probably come to it. June 7th.
I guess I should. Yes.
June 7th next year. I tell you the headliner,
where's that at?
The headliner's getting announced on the 1st. So yeah.
And where's that? And do you know where that's at?
Yeah, I always have it in Hanover.
Okay.
Yeah, about an hour south of Mechanicsburg. If you take Route 15, it's easy to get to Hanover from Route 15. If you're familiar with your highways and byways.
It all kind of like, I know by like rest stops. And I know that sounds really bad, but like, I know like how far I am from my house, like by the rest stops.
I know when it starts turning back into Wawas, I'm getting close to getting home.
So are you both close to the Jersey, Philly area? You're in the market?
I'm in Philadelphia. I'm in North Philly.
North Philly.
Yeah.
And I'm Bucks County, like closer to Artie's.
Oh, okay. Okay, you're like on your side of Lehigh Valley.
Yep.
I remember driving home from there last month, and I took the wrong way, and I had to backtrack to get on the turnpike there, or whatever it was. But I remember going through, is it Edgetown or Gaptown or North Gap or something like that? It's a very ritzy area. because Bradley Cooper lives in that area, which is like only like 10, 15 minutes from Artie's. Because I remember they put his house up, his new house that he has or whatever. I don't know, just something I drove through and it was dark and I couldn't see and the lighting sucked.
So
from Upper Darby, because I'm from Elko and they have like
New Hope. I think it's New Hope.
Is he?
He lives in New Hope.
Oh wow,
there's a lot. There are a
There's
lot
this
of
big
people.
like mansion in New Hope.
that's awesome. I didn't know that.
The realtors I guess he let them. They had pictures of the house and it was on Facebook or some entertainment page showing the home and stuff like that.
That's really cool. I love New Hope. I love eating at them restaurants.
There's some restaurant that I passed there. It looked like a castle. I don't know what it's called. Very good architecture, set right on the side of the road.
Is it the Salt House? Because there's like this really funky looking castle place I used to eat at. You got to get reservations pretty ahead. The food's really good and the vibes are awesome. That's why I was like, do you want? I'm gonna eat there.
Probably. I mean, like I said, the lighting sucked and I could barely see. Super dark. And I remember passing this like castle looking place and it was a restaurant and it's right on the side of the road.
Yep, that's the Salt House. It's awesome. Highly recommend.
Okay. Allie, message that in the messenger because I will forget that.
Yes, it's awesome. It's 2 floors. Upstairs and downstairs have fireplaces. And it's really sick. Like it really makes you, it's like one of those places you go and you're like, I'm feeling like I am in a medieval like
yeah, it's got those vibes, but the architecture is really nice.
It's super sick. I love it.
Is it in and out or is it like
no, it is hard. Like you gotta get a reservation like on a weekday. You can probably get it in the morning, but they only have 10 tables in there. Like they have like maybe 4 downstairs and then like another like 9 upstairs. And it's like fancy, but it's not like super expensive. So I would say that it's comparable to prices in Center City, Philadelphia. So it's not like so expensive that it's unaffordable, but you're not going to want to do it if you're broke. Like you want to do it right after you get paid so that you eat really poor. You're eating ramen at the end of the month. Like it's one of those, like you can do it, but it's
so we thinking like it's over $30 a plate.
It's about $30 a plate.
Okay, that's fair. I mean,
yeah, it's one of those ones. I would never recommend anything more than that because I am a dollar slice kind of girl. And as I've gotten older, I've cared less, you know.
I would if there was a Fogo de Chao nearby.
I love the Fogo de Chao, but every time I leave the Fogo de Chao, I feel like I need to be wheeled out of there. And the worst part is that it's not the meat for me, it's the bananas, which are really cheap. Like I could make them at home. It's those bananas and the little pieces of Brazilian bread. So I love the meat.
The plantains?
Yeah, that is it. The
fried bananas, because they get mashed potatoes when they're hot.
Yes.
They like to make them hot, mashed potato texture.
Yes, the hot plantains, the hot sweet plantains, those I am eating like I can't even fit the meat. I've eaten so many plantains. And then I've wasted I've wasted my own money because I'm not eating. I'm getting the Rodizio, so I'm getting the all you can eat, but I'm eating plantains. So that's where I'm bad. But I do fuck up the Fogo de Chao and then feel the need to be wheeled out of there.
And there's the one close. It's either Philly or Baltimore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's one in Philly. I think there is one in Baltimore. There's one in God, I'm trying to remember. It's like it might be on the main line or like King of Prussia. There's one out there too.
I imagine if it's a King of Prussia.
Yeah, I think there's
one. Need to get in there. I've only ever been there like once and it takes you all day to get through there.
It does. It really does. I'm pretty sure there's one out in King of Prussia because I think that I went to it and I remember being like heavy breathing, like trying to make air when I left. Yeah. I do love the Fogo de Chão. The Fogo de Chão is fun, especially when you go in a group. Big fan of
Oh
it.
yeah. And then you get the one person that doesn't understand the cards.
I know.
Y'all just kind of like don't say anything to that person.
Yeah.
Then they look stupid.
Yeah.
And like, why do they keep bringing me all this food?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, it's okay. Just keep taking it. Yeah.
Taking it. Just keep eating it.
Gotta flip the card.
I
I've
always
never been there, so I definitely, now that everybody's like going on about it.
they bring you, here's a trick, Allie, when you go. Do not fill up on the cheap meat. You gotta wait for the fillet it's a little game. You gotta wait. Gotta wait till the expensive meat comes over, and then you
feel like they're playing a game of Uno with you, but you only have red and green cards.
Yes, that's what it is. That's what the Fogo de Chão is, but it's a fun time.
I'm not. There was this buffet. It's right near Dorney Park. Like I don't even know what it is. They literally have every kind of food you could ever think of. Like
I must have missed that one because I'm a Dorney Park goer.
Oh, cool.
It's like literally like 2 minutes from Dorney Park. I think it's called like something Chinese buffet, but they have everything. I mean, soul food, Chinese food. They have hibachi. They have like just they have like whole buffets of like all different kinds of potatoes and like French fries and everything. Like best buffet I've ever gone to, and got there once, and I've been thinking about it ever since. And like everybody, like I'm like, do you guys want to go to Dorney Park? Like, let's go to Dorney Park. Like, let's just go within 2 minutes of this like buffet.
They have the Halloween stuff. I always wanted to go for that, like the Fright Fest or whatever. Dorney Park. I always thought that was interesting. I saw the commercials as a kid, and I was like, that was the biggest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I've done the Six Flag one, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah. I like a good haunted attraction. That'll get me going somewhere.
It's so expensive now. Like
I know.
rides, like, dude, for my son and I to go on a hayride, it's like a small fortune. I'm like, really? Like, what are you doing on this hayride?
What is your local hayride? Like, because we have Eastern State, and then in Delco we have Base Motel, which was fun. I did both of them this year. What is your local hayride like? Because both of mine are good. Like, I like the Eastern State. That's like Drinkapalooza because they put a themed bar next to every haunt. Like, so there's like a clown.
Is there a lot out in Central PA right now?
Oh, I went to Reaper's Revenge last year in Central PA, and it was probably the best one I've ever been to.
There is. You have Field of Screams, which is kind of close to you, Allie, but it's before Lancaster. It's off at Route 30. I've never been to that one. I haven't been in a haunted hayride in a long time, but a lot of that stuff is really popular down here. You have one that is strictly a hayride in this town called Lineborough. It's on the border of Maryland and PA, kind of going down towards Carroll County in Maryland.
I heard I heard about that one. That one's a good one.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not a big hate. My thing is with the hayride, they gotta come up and they gotta be hitting the thing, or you gotta take the chainsaws across.
Yeah,
gotta be something that's gotta get you to jump. I can't do the whole the character is hiding behind something and tries to scream like I didn't get no interaction. I'm like,
yeah, you got if you were
but they're paying you $50 a night.
I know I better actually be afraid.
So I don't know if Jason's Woods is still around. Maybe I haven't heard anything out of Jason's Woods. That was up also in Lancaster County, but Field of Screams is huge, and they're always spending. I know they're spending a lot of money updating every year up there. Then you have Kim's Crypt, which is
and they're like I think that's the one that's at Wawa, like all the Wawas. Like a discount thing for it.
Probably because they market it into the Philadelphia area as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, every billboard by us is like Field of Screams, or like that's the only reason I know it is that every single billboard is like the haunts, and I'm like, man, they must be making a lot of money to get these billboards because also they're working. Because I'm like, Yeah, Field of Screams, that looks cool. Should I go to Penhurst? Like, I'm like, oh, these are really far from me. Like,
You know what? They're really fitting in this like spirit of Halloween stores, man. Like
oh
they
yeah,
have them in the weirdest spots.
yeah, they got them in the Rite Aid of my hometown. I love
Yeah, like, I mean, they're just plopping them anywhere.
it. It's like the ghost. It's my favorite time of the year. The ghost of Spirit Halloween pops up in the remnants, dead remnants of your local like Boscovs.
Yeah, we had a Dick's Sporting Goods move, and they moved into Dick's.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love it.
Discreetly.
Spirit moved into Dick's.
Yeah,
Yeah, I bought a Halloween costume there.
I love that. I went to
What are you
two.
being?
Who's
What
that
are you being
question?
for Halloween?
We want to know from you.
For me, I really don't have time. If I would, this is a funny and quirky one, but I've never seen anybody do it. And I'd like to try to pull it off. If I would go to a costume contest party, I would do the shower curtain that Ralph Macchio did in The Karate Kid.
Ah, that'd be funny.
But yeah, I would do the whole shower curtain, but I would go to the plumbing section of Lowe's and put this thing together. It wouldn't be no cardboard. It wouldn't have been no toilet paper cores taped together and painted. I probably would go get some stainless steel plumbing stuff or
Yeah,
shower caddies or something and a curtain and put it together.
dang, that's really good.
And probably go with just, my bathing suit shorts on and try to make it look like it was a shower.
That's fun.
Yeah.
King Diamond.
Oh,
Hey,
King Diamond.
awesome.
I'm being King from Merciful Fate era. Diamond, so I'm gonna do the whole the whole makeup and whatnot. So I'm really excited for that. And I wanted to do something I didn't have to buy anything for, which is literally like I wanted to I was like, I got skulls and plenty of these and plenty of capes and plenty of makeup. I'm good. I can do King Diamond. So.
Doesn't he have?
So wait, what are you doing with that
cane?
skull? Is that going on your face?
No, I'm being King Diamond. And King Diamond has he always has one of those, and he has a human skull that he lives
You haven't found a way to wear that on your head.
That's not me. I'm not a Viking girl. I'm a that's not me. That's some of my friends, but that's I got that for 10. I got that with frequent flyer points. I bought.
Doesn't he have some kind of like wood homemade cross thing that he has?
Yeah, he has his dad was a doctor. That's how he got all those human bones actually. So he has the microphone, it's two themers and it's woven together, and then the microphone on top.
Okay. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah.
He's my favorite classic heavy metal. Like people are always like Rob Halford, DL, who's your favorite? I'm like the King is my favorite because the King can sing and the King created the King helped create the genre, I would say right under Venom for and stuff like that. I love King Diamond. I think he's just one of the most iconic people and most inspirational people in my life. So this is my ode to King Diamond. I am so excited to do this because the King can still sing. And if you're seeing this, King Diamond is playing on Halloween in New York. I think at the I think it might be presented by St. Vitus. I don't remember, but it's gonna be really awesome. So anyone going, I'm super jealous of you.
Do you all have some shows that you're looking forward to coming up before the end of the year besides what we've talked about? I'm gonna probably go. I gotta get my tickets here this week probably, but I want to go see a band that they've just been hard to see. They're up and coming called Sleep Theory.
Oh, I know them. Yeah.
And awesome. If you listen to them, you could see why I probably enjoy listening to them because it's an R&B new metal. He's an R&B singer. I mean, he does try to do some yells and screams, but I really like it because I get the Linkin Park influences and I hear his little nuances of a little bit of a Usher to him there. And
there's
his flow, his presentation of his harmonies. So I
When
can
when
relate.
is sleep
They're
theory?
with Daltrey playing at I'm going to call it the Electric Factory. I refuse to call it the
yeah, I still call it the Electric Factory. I think it's
Franklin Theater. Should just keep it the same way.
yeah, I actually haven't been there in so long. I think I'm seeing Emma Ruth Ron. I'm seeing I'm seeing Hal and Ron of Blasphemous that we are having on tomorrow night at Open for Antichrist Siege Machine with their probably one of the greatest death metal bands of the last 5-10 years, in my personal opinion. Opening for Antichrist Siege Machine, playing at Kung Fu Necktie on November 3rd, and then
Always wanted to get a show there. I've never played there
Kung Fu
before.
Necktie,
The Philly market's hard.
the Philly
It's
market's
for
hard,
us.
and that's why we're having Death Sculpted Productions on tomorrow night of Hal and Ron Blasphemous Booking Company, who are amazing. Hal is an amazing friend of mine, so I love him, and he's booking that show.
Now, does he only do a certain genre or niche bands?
It's the extreme metal,
No.
and it is extreme metal booking at Death Sculpted Productions, and I am super excited because I know Homeboy's gonna get me on that bill.
I've not had any luck in Philly. Like it's just
It's hard.
Philly wants to stick with like their own circle.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends have to book their own shows in Philly.
Like the Milk Boy would be a place I'd love to get into.
Boy, I don't know their booker, but their booker's good because they get bands that I'm like shouldn't personally need to
They
be.
follow me on Instagram, so I can probably find out.
Their booker gets like Castle Rat and all these like really huge bands in that tiny ass.
I think it used to be the Grape Room.
Yeah.
It's on Grape Street, ain't it?
God, I can't remember.
Somehow I feel like Grape Street was because you had the Grape Room venue or whatever back in the day, and I remember some 41 played it.
That's awesome.
It's very tiny, but it is. I like that venue. I
probably
like
like 100 cap room.
Milk Boy. I hate Milk Boy. It's like everybody I've ever met says it's like the worst load-in of their entire life because there's no.
Oh my god, I can see that.
There's no room to put your equipment, so it's in the back. So it's in the all over, and then I'm always afraid somebody's going to spill their drink on it, so I always feel really bad.
Drum set in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's like how it is. Drum set it's literally drum set in the bathroom vibes. The food is amazing, though, is what I will say. If my favorite place to go to a show in an amazing independent venue is Johnny Brenda's. I think every band I've ever seen it play at Johnny Brenda's has been incredible. I love it. The food is good. They have you can load in, backload in. You got a place to put your gear.
Now, does Hal deal with them?
Johnny Brenda's? Probably. I don't know. He does.
What's the name you're asking, Allie?
Hal. From
what's the last name of that person? Because I recognize that name.
I don't know his last name, but
I recognize the name.
I have no idea what his last name is.
That's another venue I'd love to get in. It's just a Philly market, you know.
Everybody says it's really hard if you don't have representation or don't live in Philadelphia because the issue is like what I've realized is like everybody knows each other. So if you know the person, you just text them versus having to go to an inquiry. Because some of my friends get on bills or get in venues that don't make sense. Like, because I know like enormous bands have like some of my friends in enormous bands have been trying to play there, and then like some of my friends will be like, yeah, I'm playing there, like, and whatever, and like they deserve it obviously because they've been. I think I say half of being in a successful band is coming out and supporting other artists, because I get show offers all the time. I get offers to be on great bills. But I go I have completely dedicated my life to making sure that my music scene stays alive. And since I go to all of the shows that I can possibly make, I feel like it comes full circle. So, like, since I'm always at everybody else's show, people are like, "Do you wanna open? I see you every week," kinda thing. So, I don't know, I just always say, like, you gotta support music, you gotta support the music, and then it supports you. Like, I'm doing a very wax on, wax off, like, if you love and support the music will love and support you because yeah, that's just, like, that's my theory in life because like, I've been given so many amazing opportunities, and sometimes I forget, like, I'll be like, "Wow, I can't believe this is happening," and then I'll be like everybody's like, "Jess, you've been to all that band's shows, like, you've done, like, the footwork, you, like, really you buy it, like, you invest I invest in other people to invest in you. Just, like, keeping the scene alive. Like, I believe in that. You gotta go out and do the thing and love your local music. Support your local music scenes. All independent venues are dying. Go support your independent venues or everything's gonna be owned by Live Nation, and they're gonna be taking fees for everything. That's my PSA to my viewers. That's my end rant.
Brenden, what have you seen a lot of change with playing the different venues with Live Nation?
I haven't done any Live Nation shows. I mean, HMAC is one that is owned by Live Nation. I mean, I feel like that would be a good question for Chris Werner. But I feel like you don't see as much big bands coming through there a lot just because of the money. It's very expensive. So you got to remember, I'm kind of down here in my own little like bubble. I stay down here and I stay within my world, my creativity. When I go up to the Harrisburg scene, it is a little bit different. There's a lot more metal bands and stuff like that up there. So it tends to be a little bit, from what I've seen, it tends to be a little bit more rough for me when I get up there, just attendance wise and getting people to come out because it is that. I feel like it is a big circle of bands in the Harrisburg area, and sometimes you're competing for their fans. So, I mean, I try to do the best I can.
But the parking in Harrisburg is horrible.
Oh yeah, I'm getting ready to pay a parking ticket. I have like a parking ticket that's like a month old from my last HMAC show I had there, and I missed my mark of renewing my minutes like by a half hour. And then I go out when I'm doing loadout, I got the parking ticket on my windshield.
I know you're so excited when you get those up front spots.
I did right out front.
But you only get like a little bit of time, and you have to keep running. Yeah, we had the same thing happen.
I mean, I was busy my show. I didn't have time to pull out my phone and run and add an extra 30 minutes is always I needed to do, and then it would have been free. So if I would have called it that 30 minutes, it was going to be free. Nope. And now I got like $135 parking ticket with fees on it. Yeah.
So how are some of the ways that you stay connected with your fans? Because you're playing all over the place. Like you said it's like 3 hours.
To artists it's almost like 3 hours. I'm hoping on this show that like I do really good with merch and I make a lot more new fans. That Morosa show was good. I made some fans there, but like you could tell like they were strictly there to spend their money on their merch. They didn't want anything to do with the opening act. I mean, after sitting there for 2 hours when nobody doesn't talk to you, so you just kind of just pack your stuff up and start loading out everything.
Are you bringing awesome merch to Millionaires?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring all my merch. Maybe not except the tank tops that I have because I don't see many people buying tank tops unless I get a Midwest show. But Yeah, I got a bunch of hoodies left over. I got some new shirts of the EP cover with the skull and paint artwork I have on there. What else I have? Have a couple beanies left. Yeah, I'm hoping to like try to sell all my merch before the January shows and get a fresh new stock ready for the tour in March. As far as like connecting with the fans, I try to stay busy on TikTok. This stuff kind of, if you're not in front of the computer every day or your phone, it does get tiring. And, you hear this all the time. You got to almost like make it a job. You got to have like 2 or 3 hours set aside for like social media stuff like every day.
Now, what's your favorite social media?
I mean, I'm so used to like doing so much with like Facebook over the years. I can flip flop through all 3 of my pages between the personal, the music page, and then the fest page. I kind of have them down so easy now, where it's fast and I can hurry up and make a post and go to the other page and share it, follow it, and then do the same with my music, follow it and share it a second time. And
I have the hardest time with Instagram.
I always forget about, and I think I need to start using it more because you can share between both of those accounts. And I always forget that. Like whatever I post on Instagram, it's just going to go to Facebook story anyway. I feel like I'm doing double the work when I go to Facebook and make a story.
Like we were kind of like trained not to like post it on both before, like.
Yeah.
So I do the same thing. I'm like, why I'm making my life that much easier, but it is what it is.
Well, back in the day, it was so easier to, I think it was when you were promoting shows or running ads on Facebook, and then they changed the whole Meta platform.
Mm-hmm.
When you were boosting stuff, you could literally go into like zip code or certain areas. And I think it's the same way when you invited people to stuff. That one thing that really ticks me off is when I want to invite people to shows.
Yeah.
It takes too long. Like I don't want to invite all these people. Like before you could pull up, like say if I have a show in Hanover, you could pull up Hanover and it would pull up all your friends that say they're from Hanover. And then that made it easier for me to do my show invites. Now I have to go by name or memorization, like, oh, this Josh and this.
Or you keep highlighting
Kevin
people
came to my
and then
show,
it's like annoying.
and I got to go through all my Kevins and base it off of their profile picture. Oh, I remember your face from my show, and then I invite you. But now you're better off just going down through your first couple hundred people and inviting them. And some people, I know I've done it before. It's literally taken me like a half hour, 40 minutes to like go through all my friends and do an invite just because I can't remember.
Now, do you post on the groups?
Sometimes I tend to forget about them.
717 Entertainment.
Yeah. To like that, or like the 717 concerts and events, or the festival one. Mm-hmm. You'll find like my Rock on a Hill festival will be popping up there a lot, and I think it has recently because the admin that runs that is a big supporter and a photographer, and she'll run she'll share posts and stuff in there all the time.
It's fun. Yeah, I try, like, I'll go through once a week and try to go through and like post on the different groups, but there's so many, and then I like kind of forget about some of them, but I'm getting better with it.
Yeah. I do wish Facebook had a better, more friendly way to pay for your ad campaigns. I think now is if you would do, for example, like a $50 booster ad campaign, there's an additional Apple fee on top of that. I don't know how it is for like Verizon or something, but when you do like for example 50, I think it costs me like 60 to run that ad campaign. So I don't know if it's a percentage based off of your ad, and then Apple gets a cut of that as well. It's like before Facebook.
I get so nervous with doing any of that stuff because I'm afraid it's gonna like mess with my algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like algorithm, I've been seeing stuff every week about that's becoming a game changer, and and stuff gets so pushed in the mix if you don't have like the right algorithms now. And when you go down through like reels and stories and you start seeing like things you just looked at and other things that are related to it. I just saw something today. It was on my feed, and then it started showing me stuff. Oh, because the World Series. I don't really watch sports besides MMA, but like I was intrigued. What was it? Game 1 of the World Series, the Dodgers won. The guy in an 10th inning hit a grand slam, beat the Yankees. But then I started like 2 or 3 reels down. Here was something of the one guy slid into a base, hurt his arm. 2 more reels down. Here, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
stuff like that. I wish with my music, if I posted something, another artist that is similar would pull up or show something else from the video. Like, I don't have that game down. And I think there's a lot of control over that and a lot of money involved to what Facebook now wants you to see, unless you want to spend a lot of money to put
We've
yourself.
had it happen numerous times. Like, we are linked to artists like on their main pages, but it really just like happens randomly.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen my stuff pop up, which was kind of cool and fun, refreshing. You know, I'm just scrolling down like, oh, my video, cool. But it literally took me like how many days and how many hundreds of reels to go through, and then I finally popped up. It was kind of like playing a slot machine at the casino. How many spins until you finally see your ad or your video pop up? That's
Well, it's crazy. Like, even with the bigger shows that you have, I mean, you could end up being linked to them in Google and be on their main page, and that would totally boost yours yourself. Like, I'm trying to take the time to like learn the different algorithms, because they are definitely all different.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I did. If you do Google search me a lot, there is a lot on me that I was surprised to find. Like, I think you have more luck of finding stuff on Google search about me.
now,
Like
was there
Facebook.
anything on Google that you found that wasn't true?
No, it's just sometimes there's like stupid pictures on there that I don't like to be on there, just because it's pulled off of like posts from my Facebook page, like somewhere I went or I shared a picture of where I went. I'm like, why is that important that everybody needs to know?
Yeah.
But never, I mean, there's never anything that I've come across that's been false information. You'll find some other Brenden Starr accounts which are stupid, and like, I get it. It's so easy to take my name, which you haven't asked me about that, but I can explain more to you about my name. So my real name is
I
Brenden.
just wanted you to know I'm wearing my Star
I see that.
sweater.
Is it cold? Is it cold in that specific room?
It's cold. Yeah.
It's cold everywhere right now. Like, I just can't get warm, but that's me, and I'm always cold. So
Yeah, I live in a loft apartment, but it's in the middle of everybody. But you know, I have some neighbors that want to like crank their heat and stuff. But being in the middle, the heat, like it'll come towards the middle of the apartment. A lot of times I don't need to turn the heat on yet or anything, because you're getting their heat through the walls
you're
of the room.
so
You know,
lucky.
well, you know, I crack a window or two here in my living room, and it's open all night because it gets too hot. It's weird. I get it, but with the name, so
Yeah, tell us about your name.
so my real name is spelled Branden.
Okay.
The story behind the name started in 2010 when we changed it. I went and did a talent show in Times Square for MTV, and there was an A&R guy there. I wasn't fully prepared because I didn't know what I was getting into, and I think I sang one of my songs a cappella.
Mhm.
And
But
how old were you?
It was actually
How old were
dreams.
you when you did that?
It was like early 20s. Yeah.
Okay.
And the one guy wanted to stay in touch with me. He used to be an A&R for Columbia Records. And I remember we were talking on the phone, and he's like, "You should do a new demo, or we should do something with your name," because my last name is Weaver. And he's like, "I like Branden, but we should get rid of your last name. How about Brenden Starr?" I'm like, "Well, it sounds too easy, and it sounds like something from like a movie or something, something from the 80s." And I was like, well, let me sit on it some more. And I was like, well, how about this? We'll change the name. We'll take the A out, put the E in there. I like that because I always liked the pronunciation of Brendan instead of Brandon. And my mom's name is Brenda. So I don't know why she just didn't put the E there in the first place, because, you know, it's the same spelling as Brenda. So we went with that. And I told him, how about we add a second R? Instead of just going with Star, put the second R in there, but I'll try to make an abbreviation of it and something that describes me. So Star means some things are real right. It's a question. And
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, I've been going by that for years. And one of my t-shirts that has my B Star logo on it, on the back from Shoulder Blade, it says that. Like, it'll say the name, but then below it, each word, it's the abbreviation below it. It's just, I'm a very real honest person, and I try to get that across to my lyrics and songs. I'll never not be fake with anything I try to present or put through my music. So some things are real right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm as real as I can get through my music. If I write a song about somebody, more than likely I will in the future. There are some songs that some people that I want to write about. I just hold back no punches. If somebody's burned me in the wrong way, more like I'll find a way to get back at that person through music or a song. Because I do.
So with that said, do you think that there will be any collabs in your future?
I wanted to. This isn't a spoiler, but I haven't shared this too much. So Christmas is coming up. I'm gonna be promoting my NSYNC remake for the holidays, because I did last year when it first came out. So I don't know if you've heard my version, which I think it's the only one, unless somebody else jumped on the bandwagon. A Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays by NSYNC.
Ooh.
So you can find
fun.
it. I mean, you can find it on Spotify.
Yeah.
It's made it on a compilation through Joy to the Berg by the CPMAs this year, and I'll be doing a Christmas show at the Inglewood in Hershey. It's a Sunday. I don't know too much about it, but when I wanted to record that song with Hayden, the idea was to do an all-star lineup with that, where it was going to be myself doing, I think it was going to be Justin's vocals for that, or JC's. I couldn't remember. I think it was more Justin's. And then Patrick, the singer of If Not For Me, was going to do JC's. And we just couldn't get the schedules because of those guys rehearsing and touring and stuff. But it was fun for me to do, and I think I killed it, and I get a lot of good feedback on it. Challenging, yes, because here I am trying to do five guys' vocals. I mean, the two main vocals is JC's and Justin Timberlake's. So I just had to nail those first, but then doing all the harmonizing and then like the vocal layerings to make it sound like five guys are singing it. You gotta take a listen to it. I know we're coming up in the season, but it popped up on my Spotify the other day in the car, and I just listened to it and I forget that it's a Christmas song.
Yeah.
Because it's fun to listen to because it's rocking, you know. It's got the guitar and all my
I'm
stuff.
gonna be honest, I'm for any Christmas song that's not Mariah Carey. Like, I just can't I can't take that like more than once. Like, and once is like too much, but I can deal with it on Thanksgiving. That's what I've given my mom.
I can just the one banger track. I can only listen to it once. I mean, if it's in like a rotation the week building up to Christmas, I'm fine with hearing it more than one time. I mean, I would like a metal band to redo Dominic the Donkey. Just see, she knows what I'm talking about.
Great.
Nobody won't touch it because it's so obnoxious. And I mean, maybe somebody can do some pig growls and match the donkey sounds. Why don't you run with that, Jesse?
Maybe. I want to do No Presents for Christmas, King Diamond, or something like that.
Okay.
Wow. That's like also an iconic cover. Christmas songs.
Dominic the Donkey and Porn Grind. There you go.
We're doing Gore Grind now. We're doing Gore Grind. We switched. We're done. We're done with the porno guy, and we're doing gore grind. We've committed to the bit.
It won't be
Gore
disrespectful
grind,
to the
Dominic the
Italians.
donkey. There you go.
Yeah.
Nobody's
You
touched
could
that
probably
one.
make it really weird with like the.
I can.
I mean, I don't even know what you call that. I mean, yeah, you're making the sound of the donkey, so I guess that's an onomatopoeia type thing or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different. I can be making all kinds of different noises.
Jesse, can you do a donkey on the spot?
Probably not right now. My voice is because I played that.
Sound like you were trying right there.
Yeah, like come on, Jesse. Like let's hear your best donkey on the spot.
Flare your nostrils.
I played a show Friday. I band practice Wednesday, Thursday. Played a show Friday, and then yesterday I was like, oh man, I'm kind of beat. I should do karaoke, all night. And now I woke up this morning and I'm like, man, I feel like shit. My throat hurts. And everybody's like, you played a show, you did band practice day all week because you guys didn't practice all month. So you just crammed it into a week. I'm like, yeah.
I adulted last night and went out and like drank. I mean, like I drank.
I killed it. Yeah. How was your party, Allie? How's your Halloweener party?
Well, it ended up like it was like this bar. They have a live like artist side, and they had the DJ side. The live artist was horrible. Like, and I don't say that a lot, but this guy was like it. First of all, he wasn't very nice. Like, I was trying to just like be nice to him just because like I felt bad for him, but like he wasn't personable. He did not really want to be playing. Like I don't know. He was kind of killing the vibe on the one side, but the DJ was hitting back to the 90s and with alcohol flowing. I mean, like he was keeping those like good gems popping out. So I mean, yeah. And I drank a lot. I mean, like I actually got to like go out and be an adult and like drink and not really like give a fuck. And it was great. Like I really needed it. Like it was awesome. I did feel like a little bit out of it because whenever I go out around Halloween, I usually do myself all up. And like I had got this yellow furry jacket, and I was like, I'm just gonna do a makeup look around that. And I didn't realize like how hard it would be to match that yellow. So I did not go out as fully like done up in the full cosplay, but definitely it was a lot of fun going out.
I love that. The second party I went to had the worst playlist I've ever heard at a Halloween. And halfway through the night, like towards the end of the night, they're like, do you want the aux? I was like, yeah, yanked it. I like put on I was like, I gotta put on something like that's not gonna scare people. So I just put on Holy Diver, and the guy sitting directly next to me, he had not talked the entire night. 2 seconds in, he's like, Holy Diver, and immediately hadn't talked the entire night. He is popping the fuck off the Holy Diver.
I was praying for karaoke last night. Like the guy that was singing, well, like it was like a dead seagull. Like, oh, like a dude. I don't even know what kind of music you would consider that. Like the guy just, and I was like, yeah. Do you know any other songs? Like, he's like, no, I don't really even know how to play the guitar. Like, I'm just kind of like. The guy just, it was a very strange situation. Like, I was like,
wild.
Like, we can't just open up the door, like, so the DJ can play through, because.
That's crazy.
Did he at least play Milli Vanilli last night?
Oh, man.
I mean, Milli Vanilli's made a comeback now because of the Fernandez brothers.
Oh, wow.
No, they did not play that, but I've heard that at some of the other venues that I've gone to.
Girl, you know it's true.
Yeah.
They played Thriller last night, and I've realized I don't know the whole dance. Like,
I
and
don't
I need
either.
to
Maybe
learn my timing better. Like, I know, like,
I
you
know
know,
that part that you're doing there because it's like the Teen Wolf dance as well from Teen Wolf. Remember the dance he did at the prom?
now, do you know those dances or no?
A little bit. I mean, I know the Milli Vanilli like dance, the video one where they do the little shuffle back and forth with the legs.
Like,
No,
I realized last night I basically know this part of the Thriller dance and like the little shimmy thing, like back and forth. Like, I did not know the rest of the dance. And it just
I mean,
happened that my friend like knew it and like didn't want to get up and dance, was kind of being like a wimp, but he was like trying to tell me the different moves like as they were coming up. He's like, this is the part where he's like got the girl and like he's turning into a zombie. So I was like trying to like, pull off the TikTok video that like where I'm like acting like I'm the zombie coming up. But yeah, I need to definitely like go through and watch that and prepare myself for next year because I'm gonna be like tearing it up like the Cupid Shuffle, like around
I can never
Halloween.
tell if he was going through they were going for a zombie look in that video. To me, it feels like they were going more demonic on his look. He looks more like a demon.
He definitely does.
I mean, the eyes are definitely demonic. I mean, werewolf almost.
I love werewolves.
Wolves are making like a huge comeback. Like they were out for a little bit and like they're making such a comeback. Like a lot of people, I saw a lot of really awesome wolf costumes this year.
That's awesome. My best friend was a werewolf for Halloween. To be fair, there's a
Now, did they go like traditional or did they go like Teen Wolf?
there's a 70s movie called like Werewolf Bikers from Hell. And it's a bunch of werewolves that kidnap like the Bride of Satan or something like that. And my best friend's a biker. So he went as a biker werewolf and he wore like a giant leather jacket. Like he wore his leather jacket with like Motorhead pins and shit in it, and then just did like werewolf makeup, and it was pretty cool. And fangs. And I was a vampire, and I was like, that's why we don't get along. But
Oh my
yeah.
God. So we've been on for like a really long time. So I just real quick, Brenden, before you get off, let's go through real quick your next couple shows. You have the Artie show with Millionaires at
Yep.
Artie's in Frenchtown, and
Yeah.
that's November 8th. Then you have
As far as the next show after that would be local. I have a show at November Black Friday, which I believe is November 29th at Skid Row in York, PA.
Okay.
And then there is a Christmas show at the Inglewood, which is not fully scheduled yet. Okay. If we go into the new year, so we have a show, which I can't remember, the venue's name.
Rivet, and that's in Pottstown.
Yeah, with I can't remember his name now. I'm like, what's the gentleman's name? The artist. Drake.
Drake Bell.
Yeah, it's Drake Bell. And
when is that? That's January
18th.
Okay.
And then January 30th with LFO at Artie's. Again.
That one's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to be a fun show. Well, they're all going to be fun. I shouldn't say that.
Who's going to be all wearing their Abercrombie and Fitch?
You're going from Millionaires, which is like generally, I don't give a fuck, like wild party, like.
Yeah. But do you think some of the nostalgic older women that are going to be at that show are definitely going to be wearing Abercrombie and Fitch on purpose?
Probably.
Yeah. I think I've only ever had one pair of Abercrombie and Fitch because it started to get too trendy and felt like American Eagle all over again.
I've never had anything Abercrombie.
I mean, they were cool ones. I mean, they had like paint all over them and ripped up. They weren't like your typical American Eagle, like straight skinny jeans or anything like that.
You know, I do have a few pieces of American Eagle, but they've been like distressed and like kind of like made into something else. But
Yeah, that's what you
yeah,
should do.
I've never been into those like preppy stores. Like I walk in, I'm like, what?
I tried one time, and then everybody started to look like it, and
I can't even do
I didn't want to
Kohl's.
fit in.
Like I can't do Kohl's. Like, and this like
Nope.
stems to back in the day because remember when Abby Dawn was like big and they were selling it in Kohl's? I had got this Abby Dawn sweatshirt and I wore it out. And I'm telling you, like 4 or 5 other girls were wearing the same sweatshirt. And I stopped shopping at Kohl's after that. I'm like, you know what? Nope. Nope.
It felt like your
spend that much.
Felt like your freshman year all over again, high school, when somebody had the same shoes you had on, or the same shirt. Then you had to go back home and change or not wear that shirt again.
That's what got me on the phase to just like do my own thing, be totally different, and just ride it out. I'm always that person that's like not really dressed for the right occasion and usually overdone with too much jewelry or too much accessories. All good.
Yeah.
But so excited. Can't wait to see you live on the 8th. Again, everybody got to get out to Frenchtown to Artie's. Hey, Six. My dog just jumped up because she's excited too. She's like,
Yeah.
Brenden Starr. As far as links, if people want to get tickets from you, where do they go?
They can go to the page. The event's posted on the page as well, and I have it tagged on the page, and it's attached with the flyer. I mean, it's about the easiest spot to find.
Okay, so everybody go on. Brenden Starr's got all the info for you on his social media. Make sure that you come out, and I want to see everybody's like best 2000s Y2K style. Calling all the people that have like hoarded like all those like what is it, the Razor phone, or have like the little digital like what were they called, Jesse? Those little digital animals?
Oh, the
pen pals or whatever.
I forget.
Tamagotchi.
Yeah.
Nemo pets.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to see all those like fun things from the 2000s. Hello Kitty, fucking all of it. Gloomy Bear.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I want to pull it all out. And I will definitely have one of my bows. Melissa made this custom.
Oh, nice.
I'll have one of my bows on.
Are they flying in?
See all your merch.
Is that a fly-in show for them?
What?
Is that a fly-in show for them?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's what I thought, yeah. So it should be.
Now, what time are you going on?
I don't know. I don't know the times yet. I imagine.
I was told that you were opening.
I guess I'll find out when I get there.
Find out. Yeah, we will. You will keep us updated on that information.
I can't wait, and we're gonna have so much fun. And yeah, so ready. And I'm gonna be. I'm sorry in advance because I really love Get Out. So if I'm singing way loud over the live that I'm taking of your performance, I apologize now because I can't sing that well. So
well, as that song progresses and more people start singing it live, I mean, during the bridge, I drop out on it, and there has been people that have sing the bridge when I come into that part where it's singing the chorus, because there's like a dub voice of me that goes really low on a track, and I'll take my voice away from the mic, and I'll put the mic up in the air, and there'll be a couple people in the crowd I can hear sing it. So I'll be looking for that. I'll probably forget what you just said, and I'll be like, well, she's gonna be singing, so the mic will already be there for you to yell.
Yeah, you can't miss me. I'll be up front, like with my purple hair, like jamming out.
And that venue's kind of very intimate. The room, it's like it's got all these like big like wood beams and stuff. It's pretty cool. It's kind of got like a rustic look.
I love that. Like you can, like I've been the Alisana show, the Starcade. Man, it was pouring. Like I mean, thunder and lightning, and the crowd didn't move. They didn't move. They were there. Like I mean, it was really awesome to watch, but to go under the little tiki thing, like that's great. Yeah, very awesome venue. And you don't feel like claustrophobic either. Love it.
Yeah, I think you'll like Artie's. It like I said, it's very, very up close. The stage is not really high, so you kind of get right there with the artist a little bit. And the food's
before
great.
we hop off, all of Brendan's information is going at the bottom of the screen, so make sure you follow him. I believe you're on all the social media, aren't you?
Yeah. I have a website. It's still being under construction, so once I get that up with my link tree, it'll be so much more easier for people just to like go wherever instead of just searching for me on Facebook.
And definitely once you get that up and running, send it over and we'll post it up on our social medias.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to come on.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was fun.
And we'll have to have you back on after you do this round of shows and ask you again what has been that moment that has just changed the game for you. We're ready.
Yeah, maybe after the holidays or something, that'd probably be good. A good start for the new year.
And I will see you on the 8th.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Jesse's not going?
I'll do my best. I'm doing my best.
You never know what Jesse is just like
just be pulling up sometimes. I'm a sick flicker, so I'm like gotta catch a ride. Yeah, I'm one of those people. So like everything I'll do my best. I do my best when it's outside Philadelphia,
Now, do you go and try to like hand out like stickers or anything to kind of promote your podcast?
I do. Do that, and we leave them in bathrooms and all over the place.
I actually thank you for bringing that up because
I was gonna say if you do bring whatever and then you can share it with my merch team.
I sat here the other night and did lanyards.
Oh, amazing.
Full, and I have the stickers. I cut half of them, but there's a lot as you can see.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I went until my hand was like throbbing, and then I was like, you know what? I've done it.
I remember cutting stickers. I got one of them paper slicer
things.
things.
Helps so much. That's what I was doing.
Yeah, the old thing, you slide them up there and put the next ones in and keep sliding. Yeah. But yeah, we could put that
can't like the ones that we sell, like they go through a company, but I feel like the free ones, like I can do the work and I can cut them myself. Yep.
Yeah, bring them along. Slap them beside some of my merch.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, have a great night.
Yeah, you too. I think I'm gonna go binge some more on some show. I was starting to watch a show called I think it was called the Mitch, or it might be called the Mitch or something. It was on like I don't remember the site. There's so many of them. Some show where this lady's sister gets raided by the FBI and she has to watch her kids, and they're a rich family and they're a bunch of brats.
The Mick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
that's got some really good moments in it.
Yeah, some really like stuff you wouldn't think they would talk about, like the one when she's having a conversation with like the niece about her and her boy stuff or the boyfriend, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she literally went to like Parenthood or whatever, or the pharmacy, and got all these like contraceptives and like a bag of all this stuff, and just like getting them out one by one. I'm like, oh god, it's so awkward. It was funny, but it was just awkward. I was like,
It's funny.
I don't even
Yeah.
like watch regular cable anymore. Like I keep debating on like doing away with it because I don't even watch it anymore. Like I've been on a real Paramount Plus run lately.
you can find some good stuff on there. Like I've been getting behind on my Beavis and Butthead, but when they had the movie come out,
Yeah,
I
the movie was great.
and now apparently there's like all kinds of like episodes and seasons that are already over that I'd have to get caught up on, because I love me some old school Beavis and Butthead. I mean, I got all the box sets, and that was kind of like part of my childhood. The reason why I wasn't doing my homework at night either and getting in trouble in school.
Oh yeah.
Staying up late just
Oh
to
my
watch.
god, that would be awesome
15
if you wore Beavis and Butthead to Millionaires.
like a shirt or something.
Yeah, like wore the Beavis and Butthead shirt of like the MTV.
I've always wanted to find like a legit like Butthead shirt or something. I would totally do that, but I also have like a certain like outfit that I always wear on stage because I'm always in whites, and I'm always following like a certain color scheme. Like my mic stand is all white with splattered lime green and hot paint all down it. So
Oh, that's
I'm
exciting.
always wearing like white on whites. Like this shirt that I have on has nothing to do with guns. I'll just tell you that. It's a t-shirt company in the UK.
Okay.
And I endorse them, and every single shirt that I wear, 9 out of 10 of the times on stage, is one of their shirts, and they have some kind of cool message on it, or they're like
Are they called like is it Pistol Apparel?
Pistol Boutique clothing. Pistol Boutique. They're a small company. I don't think they're really trying to grow worldwide. I discovered them on eBay, and I've been in touch for the past couple of years with the owner, and it just kind of cuts me a little like endorsement discount. So whenever I can, I just kind of rep the brand, or I throw the name on the flyers. But like I said,
now can you buy out of the US for them?
yeah, obviously you'll have to pay the little bit extra shipping for them to ship from the UK because it's all made in UK. But they have some cool like shotgun shirts. That's like the shirts where it's all the holes like blowed through it on one side, and it's all kind of like distressed.
That's nice.
I mainly got drawn to them because I like deep V-necks, and like in the Gravity video, there's a shirt I'm wearing that's theirs. The Top of the World. Some of the shots where I have my denim on, the white shirt underneath is theirs. Yeah, but they have like a lot of messages. Like I can't even. I'm just so out of everything. But a lot of the messages go across the V or the neck. It's just like a one sentence, some cool little sayings that you would know if you saw them. Like one of them I actually have tattooed on my chest where it says "Love will tear us apart" in pink across, and that was something I really liked on the shirt, and I got it tattooed actually.
Cool.
So when I wear a V, it shows because I purposely did it like that. So when I have V-neck on it, all that extra space there, the ink will show.
You have the Joy Division it's Joy Division too. Yeah.
So your shirt for Artie's, are you wearing a V-neck?
It'll probably be, or it'll be like, or a long one where it's kind of like a U, because they make the U ones where it goes like that. Yeah.
Awesome.
I had to go through them because I have like 5 or 6 of them, and then I just seen that they have some other new designs that I have to get. And I thought about reaching out to them about doing like an exclusive like design for me. So I don't know yet. The person sounds like they don't want to get too big. When I tried to talk to them about like a full-on like endorsement, they sound like they don't want to get too big and don't want to put that kind of money out. You know what I mean? They still want to kind of be like low key, just enough where they're making a living off of it, but not like outgrowing their inventory. Some people want to do that, you know.
Hey, if you're looking for some other
big
companies to brand or collab with, definitely let me know, because I can shoot you a couple to just look into to see if it's your vibe.
Yeah, I mean, I know I'm gonna be looking for a lot of extra sponsors and stuff. Anything I can rep, even if it's alcohol, for the tour, because that's all going to be obviously funded by me, down to the logistics and the traveling. Until you get to that level to where you have a couple tours under your belt, and you can go back and start saying to the owners of these venues and promoters, like, hey, this is my guarantee, this is what I want, this is what's on my contract or my rider. So being as it's my first tour, I can't come in guns and blazing like, hey, I need 500 hours a show. Well, we don't know you, so you're gonna get a split from the door. Or some places are nice enough where they're like, oh sure, we'll pay you a couple $100. You're not gonna get that everywhere. It's not the 90s and 80s anymore where these people were just throwing money at your way. They don't know your name, but they have the money there to still pay you. It doesn't work like that anymore.
Before we go, do you have any recommendations for people trying to get into music?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing nowadays is networking, and networking has always been the biggest thing. Just try to find other like-minded musicians in the community, and get within close range of other bands that you can play shows with. Don't try to blow yourself up so early in the game, because it tends to make you look very arrogant and cocky. I'm not using any recommendations off of any other bands that I've worked with, but just see these things over time where bands come out and they go guns and blazing, and then they kind of fall off because they got way too ahead of themselves. Like, I feel like you got to do your homework now. You got to understand some of the business, networking first and foremost, because you could have a band, but you could have 3 or 4 other members in the band, and only 1 or 2 of them you get along with. So it's definitely got to be some good like-minded people, and when it gets to that point, it becomes a business, and one person in the band can't be doing all those jobs either, because I'm one person that's been stuck in that point. Like in 2 previous bands, I've been through that, where I was spending the money, I was doing the merch, the marketing, and the booking, and everybody else in the band was just like, oh, we're gonna play the shows, Brendan's got it, he's taking care of all that. So if that answers your question, I like to think that the networking is the biggest thing. You don't necessarily have to come in like, oh man, we need to get all these shows. Like, no, you need to play the right shows that make sense and not oversaturate yourself. And if you like a certain venue, don't play it every month. Play it every other month or every 2 months.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
That's good advice.
Don't outgrow your market either.
Yeah. Understand who your market is. I appreciate you for coming on. I appreciate your time and all the time you've taken with us. We would love to have you back on. Definitely after the holidays, start up in the new year.
Yeah.
Thank you everybody for joining us, and we loved having you on. We'll definitely keep in contact, and we will send you all the links as soon as everything comes out. And I appreciate it.
Yes, it was fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for coming on.
That was awesome, dude. I loved it. I just want to thank all our viewers for paying in mind for us having coming back on every week. Is fucking awesome, and I just can't believe that I have an awesome community of people. Thanks. We'll see you guys
We have
next
so many
week.
shows coming up, so definitely make sure that you subscribe to A Pretty Little Podcast so you get all the latest updates when episodes drop, because we have some surprises coming up over the next couple months. So make sure you subscribe. Bye, everyone.